This video is for my trumpet players. I'm going to walk you through how to put your instrument together, which is pretty quick for the trumpet, how to hold it correctly, how to produce a sound with the mouthpiece, how to put the mouthpiece in and play something, and then we'll watch another video talking about how to get notes to come out in our book. So to start with, you're going to want to put your trumpet on the floor. I'm going to use this table because it's hard to record a video with it on the floor, but you want it on a flat surface. The floor is always best so nothing falls. And you're going to want to figure out which direction your case opens. Mine has a label right here where the instrument title is. That's usually on the top part. If you want to flip your instrument over that way, you can lift it up. You've probably already gone through this though. You're going to lift these and then slowly lift the lid, because if you do this wrong and the trumpet's on the wrong side, it can fall. And what you should get is something that kind of looks like this. Now yours might look a little different than mine. Your case might have different stuff in it. Mine's just bare bones right now. It's just got my trumpet and a mouthpiece and a couple extra mouthpieces. But all you need is the one. And here's what you do to put your trumpet together. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pick up the body of the instrument. That is the main part. It's got 3 keys on it, or valves that we call them. The side over here with nothing on it, this is where the mouthpiece is going to go. Now your mouthpiece should look kind of like this. Your trumpet might look a little different. Maybe you have a different color or something, but most of them look brass like this. And what you do to put the mouthpiece in, you're going to slide it in lightly and then just do a slight turn. I did not use much pressure. I'm just doing a slight turn. You don't want to jam it in there because then it can get stuck and you won't be able to fit it in your case. So just a slight turn, and then to pull it out, you just turn back the other way. You don't have to push in hard at all. I'm just lightly pushing in. I'm only using 2 fingers. Slight turn, and now my mouthpiece is not falling out. And for the trumpet, it's as simple as that. That's all you do to put it together. You stick in the mouthpiece. Pretty easy compared to the clarinets. So what I want to show you now is how to hold it. Now, what happens on the trumpet, I'm going to show you from the side here. You're going to have 2 hands holding the trumpet at all time. Your right hand is going to be what's used to play the keys, or the valves is what we call them. And what you're going to do is take your first index finger, and you're going to stick it on top of the valve that's closest to you, second finger, and third finger. Now, it's hard to show you, so I'm going to lift up my hand. You're going to take your thumb and rest it underneath this long pipe and in between the 2 first valves. And so you should have something that looks like this when you're done. Your hand should form what we call a C. So your thumb is here, and then your right hand fingers are going 1, 2, 3. And then there's a little curl here. What I like to do so we don't start with bad habits, if you put your pinky in it, sometimes you develop wrong habits of putting pressure. So I just like to rest my pinky on top of that. If your trumpet doesn't have that, just rest your pinky on the trumpet. You're not going to use your pinky to play the right pinky to play the trumpet at all. So thumb underneath the pipe, 1, 2, 3. That is the right hand. The left hand, it's a little bit different because you've got some more stuff down here. And what you should have, if you're looking at it from the correct side, is a little ring here on the side closest to the bell. And you're going to put your ring finger through there. You're going to take your first and second finger of your left hand and slide them behind that ring. Your ring finger goes in the ring. Your first and second fingers go in between. If your trumpet is set up right now where you can't fit it, there is a little knob here that you turn, and you can adjust how far in and out this goes. You want to find what works for you. Just remember, when you're doing anything on an instrument, don't crank really hard. Just small motions so you can adjust them later. So I'm going to put my ring finger through the hole, my first and second finger here, and then my thumb is going to curve around, and most trumpets have this little hook here, and your thumb's just going to go through there. So my left hand will look like this. On the other side, it just looks like that. Your pinky can just rest off to the side. It doesn't have a lot to do on the trumpet. So when I put both of them together, I've got my right thumb under the pipe, 1, 2, and 3. My hands should look like this and like this. So when I play the trumpet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by keeping the trumpet vertical in front of my body. Then I'm going to lift up to where the mouthpiece gets close to my mouth. And what you should see with my arms is a triangle, almost like a 45-degree angle. Now, some people's bodies are a little bit different, and so if you want to turn your wrist a little bit, I like to turn my wrist to where the trumpet isn't perfectly up and down, but if you see it's slightly at an angle, it's hard to see through the camera and the bell, but it's slightly at an angle. Some people like to play with the valve straight up. I turn mine just slightly so that this wrist can stay flat. But the most important thing is to create a triangle from the bell to your elbows. I know you can't see my face, but at least you can see that triangle from the bell to the elbows. So that is how you hold a trumpet. So for this next part, you can put the body of the trumpet away, the main part, and all we're going to use is this thing called the mouthpiece. This mouthpiece is what creates all the sound. And a brass instrument is different than a lot of other instruments because if I just blow through this, it doesn't make a sound at all. And what we're going to do is this funny buzzing sound. And what I want you to do first is say the letter E, then M, and it sets up your face. It looks kind of funny, and I'm talking kind of funny, but it brings the sides in. You can kind of see it from here, E, M. It brings your cheek muscles in, and that's going to help you to create what we call our buzz, which is kind of like almost spitting a watermelon seed feeling, but you let your lips vibrate together. So if you go E, M, and then it's almost like you're saying P, or like spitting a watermelon seed. So think E, M, P, E, M, and then when you say P, try to keep your lips closed and let the air vibrate your lips, and you get a buzz. Should sound like this. And if you noticed on my lips, this is weird, but if you notice on my lips, there's a hole of air where it comes out in a stream right here when you're buzzing. And that is what we want to center in the mouthpiece. So I'm going to, for most people's lips, this will work best. You want to take the mouthpiece and center it partly over your top lip, partly over your bottom lip. And I know I'm talking about a lot of weird face stuff. That's just part of band. You're going to see more of that this year. And it should look like this when it's all said and done. I'm going to turn from the side so you can see it. And from the front. So I have E, M, keeps the sides in, and then that P starts the buzz. And when I buzz into this, it's going to sound funny like a little duck or something, but this is the sound we're going for. And if you buzz your air out faster, the note goes higher. And if you buzz your air out slower, your lips vibrate slower, the note goes lower in pitch. So listen, I'm going to show you a slower low buzz where my muscles are a little bit more relaxed, and then a faster buzz where I'm a little bit more firm and that air is shooting out faster because I'm forcing it out of that small hole that I created by saying EMP. Here's a fast buzz. Then you can do these things we call sirens in class where you scoop from a low buzz to a high buzz. So I move my eyebrows so you can see the note go up and down. You don't actually have to move your eyebrows. But that is the start of the sound. So the first thing I want you to practice is just with this and see if you can get that buzz. Once you can get that buzz, go to the next part. So hopefully you've achieved getting that buzz sound. Hopefully you paused the video and worked on that. If not, and you're just listening to this, pause the video, make sure you can get the buzz, and then come back here. Now I put my mouthpiece back in, lightly set in, and did turn. I made sure my left hand was set up correctly. My right hand was set up correctly. Now what I'm going to do is pull the trumpet up to my mouth so that the bell is shooting straight forward. I don't want my chin down because our instruments work on air. So if my chin is down, the air is literally traveling up and then down and out. So we want our chin straight up and our bell pointed straight out. My camera's at an angle lower, so it kind of looks like I'm pointing up, but I'm actually pointing parallel to the ground. So when I sit with my body up, my shoulders up, so I have good posture. If I slouch, it's like squeezing your lungs and not letting that air move freely. So you want to sit up tall, not tense, not like you're trying to be stiff. Your shoulders don't have to go super high, but just relaxed. Both feet flat on the floor usually helps with this. And now I'm going to pick up my trumpet to that 45-degree angle triangle here. Almost 45-degree angles, just get close. And I'm going to try pushing no buttons down and doing that buzz sound. And it should sound like this. I hope it doesn't distort the camera. Now, if you buzzed slower, you might get this note. That's not the note we're wanting to start with. We're going to want to start with the one, the buzz speed that I did first, which is here. If you're a little too tight here and you buzz really fast, it can go higher. But what we're going for is that medium, that sound right there. So pause the video and see if you can get that sound to come out. So once you get that sound to come out, what I want you to do is you're going to play 4 notes in a row using that buzz technique. But in band, we don't just blow air out and buzz. We also say ta. We don't actually say the word, but our tongue does the T motion. So we get, and it kind of catapults the air out of our mouth and gets a prettier, purer tone right from the beginning. So here's what I want you to try. Before we learn any notes out of our book or anything, you're not going to push any keys down. You're just going to practice holding it. And try doing this. Now remember, I'm keeping my E, M, P, and then I'm saying that ta sound as I buzz. It's kind of a weird thing, but that helps the note catapult out. So one more time. And that is how you get your sound on the trumpet that we're going to use first. I'll do another video for you and the clarinets that'll show you how to start reading the notes in our book and playing lines from the book. But first, master getting that sound. Experiment with your face shape, EMP. If you're not getting it to work, keep trying it out. Take your trumpet into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and see if your face is going EMP. If it's too loose and you're sticking your lips out like this, it doesn't work. A lot of young trumpet players do that, so remember, EMP. Here's the front view, side view. Sorry for my creepy face. Try this out, and when you're ready to move on past those 4 notes getting a sound, there'll be a video teaching you the next part.